Hello, and welcome to hopefully a week later after my most recent video. I would just like to quickly say that the support on my videos recently have been amazing, especially my Paper Mario video, and I can't thank you all enough. I'm gonna try something new here and ask you all to subscribe at the start of some of my videos if you really like the type of content that I produce. Other than that, this video will contain spoilers for Super Mario Bros. Wonder and other Mario games if you even care. I hope you enjoy the video. Imagine the year just so happened to be 1985, and Super Mario Bros. Had just released for the Nintendo Entertainment System. It was revolutionary at its time. Using either Mario or his brother Luigi, he moved from left to right in a side-scrolling fashion in a 2D plane in order to save the Princess Toadstool from Bowser. After the game's tremendous success spawned a plethora of other games involving our favorite plumber duo and other characters that spawned from the continuation of this franchise. These ranged from other 2D games like Mario's Time Machine, all the way to 3D games, party games, and even sports games that helped evolve the franchise to what it is today. Whether or not you like it is your choice. Let's go all the way from the present back to 2006. New Super Mario Bros. Had just been released to the public on their fancy new handheld, the Nintendo DS. The art style was new, no pun intended. The game caught everyone's attention with how different it was compared to past entries in the 2D Mario franchise. The movement from the 3D games had sort of been implemented into the 2D format, giving us access to more versatile gameplay, allowing us to do more than what was previously thought possible. We could now triple jump, ground pound, and even fucking jump on walls. This is revolutionary! The game had the potential to be the greatest 2D Mario to date, but the games that would come afterwards really ruined this game's chances and reputation. New Super Mario Bros. Wii released 3 years later in 2009, and introduced a twirl mechanic, 4-player co-op, and a status quo for how Mario should look. The only issue was that it looked almost identical to the DS game with slight variations, just at a higher resolution. The levels were more open to make room for the 4-player co-op. This was a double-edged sword in a few ways. Yes, it made the game feel more alive and incredibly chaotic when you were playing with friends, but when you aren't, they just feel very empty and boring compared to its DS counterpart. I get really depressed looking at this. 3 years later in 2012, with the reveal of everyone's favorite failed console, the Wii U, we got two new Super Mario Bros. Games. New Super Mario Bros. U and New Super Mario Bros. 2. I'm honestly not sure how they got to 2 when they released 3 games before it, but whatever. Both of these games didn't have anything original to them and looked almost identical to its DS version. Again, only with slight variations. The only thing I can genuinely compliment the series for doing as it continued on was the difference in how the game's controlled. Every new entry made the movement feel more polished and very satisfying despite looking devoid of any personality. I'm not trying to say that I believe the new Super Mario Bros. Series is bad, but it got a bit stale after receiving the same games practically every year. It felt like I was ritually buying a new sports game. The only one that tried to do something different was New Super Luigi U. That's right. Fuck Mario. He's canonically dead in this game because it's the year of Luigi. So you know what that means? We get good level design again. The little bite-sized levels and fast pacing made it both difficult and fun compared to all the other games in the series, besides DS. It felt like an actual new entry in the games instead of just rehashing the same stuff over and over again. Man, they really should do stuff like the year of Luigi more often if we get stuff like this. Okay, we'll never be getting stuff like this again. Sorry, Dr. Luigi. Into the vault you go. But once New Super Mario Bros. U released, there was nothing. Absolutely nothing but darkness for 2D Mario. The slight glimmer of hope that something new was coming was just lost. People were tired of 2D Mario, so you know what they did? They released Super Mario Maker in 2015 that allowed people to create their very own Mario levels using retro and new styles to do so. Now they don't have to make any more 2D Mario games because they'll just get other people to do it for them. Yeah! I mean, we also did get Super Mario Run in 2016. It was a thing. I believe it costs around $10. I could either pay the bills or play Mario on my phone. You obviously know which one I chose. It was just your average New Super Mario Bros. Mobile game that I hear almost no one talk about anymore. It was so forgettable that it turned 8 years old and absolutely no one cared. So, happy anniversary, Super Mario Run. I bought you, and that's about all I can say. I wrote this part a little while ago, and ever since then, Nintendo has weirdly supported the mobile game. They've given it new events for upcoming releases for some of their new games. There was one for Luigi's Mansion 2 HD and Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door Remake. I didn't get anything for Luigi's Mansion, but Paper Mario reeled me in, so I couldn't help but get a few of the event stuff. Here's a cool statue of Mario and Goombella. They even ended up having an entire Super Mario Bros. Wonder event, which completely caught everyone off guard. I think all it added was some wonder effects from the game. nothing too crazy. Besides that, New Super Mario Bros. U got ported to the Nintendo Switch in 2019 with very little changes. They changed so little that the game still has the U in it, signifying it's a Wii U game. The Wii U continues to live on even into the modern age. Them even releasing that abomination of a deluxe version didn't bring us any closer to getting a new 2D Mario game. But then Super Mario Maker 2 came out, and people, including myself, began to think that Mario Maker just became the official replacement for 2D Mario. This would kind of make sense, honestly, but I and many others just wanted to see what Nintendo could create as the next evolution of 2D Mario. But nothing ever came of it until...
Onward and upward.
"2D Mario's back! And in an actual good way this time. The trailer for Super Mario Bros. Wonder was absolutely fantastic. The art style was actually different, it was new. You know, new, not new. Yeah, everything was looking good for Mario fans everywhere. Unless you liked the sports games. Then I've got some real bad news for you. After a long wait and 2 months of marketing, we got Super Mario Bros. Wonder. Since I pre-ordered it though, I get a keychain. Wowee. Other stores and countries got better pre-order bonuses than I did, but hey, it's something alright. But then again, I don't use keychains, so I think I'd be better off with nothing. Yeah, I think the box art is a little weird for this game. I really like it, but I think it would have been better if the cover reflected what the game actually looked like. I can sort of understand why they did this. Mario is more recognizable if he looks like this. Remember, he's gotta look the part, so he must be a little corporate friendly. Except he looks like he's gonna sue you if you see this render of him in a suit. Please, no, Miyamoto, I don't have any money to spare. I buy all your games. Please, don't sue me. I don't have a wife or kids. I need this money to help feed my video game collecting edition. Please. The intro to Super Mario Wonder is as follows. Mario and friends, except Nabbit, all gathered together at the Flower Kingdom with their ruler Prince Florian, who is a caterpillar. I just hope he doesn't decide to eat all the flowers. Bowser randomly swoops in like normal and kidnaps he turns himself into a castle. Funniest shit I've ever seen. Since this is a Mario game, it is Mario's moral obligation to take the job and help Prince Florian gather these Wonder Seeds and Royal Wonder Seeds in order to stop Bowser and return the castle to its rightful owner. Not the most groundbreaking story, but it's a Mario game, so it's not like it really matters when it's all about fun. The world map has the most amazing and charming design possible. It all looks so colorful and full of life. They have these little shops here in each world that allow you to buy badges like it's an RPG. I'll talk about them in a little bit, don't worry. Other than badges, these shops allow you to buy 1-ups, which is kind of weird. It also has these things called standees, which you buy using these things called Poplin coins. You can find them pretty much in every level, and they are only used at these shops. So get grinding, because you'll need an absolute shit ton of them. The only way to obtain these things is by playing the gacha game. Why have some Nintendo games recently been doing this? Even Kirby has this mechanic. It's really weird. I mean, if you like gambling, this will surely give you the itch you've been looking for. You can't use the deed to your house, sadly, so if you wanted to cause real harm to your life, then you might have to go gamble somewhere else. I personally never used standees throughout my playthrough, which caused me more harm than I wanted it to. If you crouch and press X, it'll spawn one of these little stands where you stand. It acts as a checkpoint in case you believe you died unfairly. There are a total of 144 to collect. It's a small amount. Don't worry. This is my favorite mechanic in a video game. I know I have them all, but I just can't stop buying them. It makes me feel something every time I buy one. I think they're a cool collectible thing, but I only believe in the harshest of punishments, so I chose the hard path to 100% completion. Oh yeah, the secrets. The worlds all have their own secrets too. It sometimes has levels or pipes that lead to other places with more levels, or Captain Toad, I guess. Did I mention how many playable characters there are in this game? Well, there's just so many. I'll let you take a few seconds to guess how many characters you think are actually in this game. If you said any number that wasn't at least a double digit, you'd be wrong. We have 2 Mario Brothers, 2 Princesses, 3 Toads, 4 Yoshis, and 1 Nabbit. That comes to a grand total of, drumroll please, 12 playable characters in this game. That's absolutely fucking insane, and yes, I basically only played Luigi, thanks for asking. All the Yoshis and Nabbits are purely reserved for easy mode, which doesn't really mean much in a Mario game. They also can't use power-ups or take damage. Not much else to say about characters outside of that. When you play the very first level, it delivers a very good first impression. It absolutely screams polish, charm, and fun. Every character has these cool animations, and Mario and Luigi specifically have their own pipe animations where they grab their hats after they fly off. I actually really love the talking flowers so much. I kind of went into this game thinking I was going to find them annoying. I enjoy them so much, I want more of them. If you turn their voices off, we can't be friends. I think one of my favorite quotes is in one of the first levels.
Talking plants, huh? So nice. Almost as weird as talking plants.
On the topic of levels, I really think the level designs are actually really cool. Each one is super interesting and makes you want to play them over and over again. Something you can immediately tell is that the levels aren't as empty and lifeless. Instead of incredibly wide open empty areas, we have some actual stuff going on here. From its colorful overworld to its deepest magma caverns, it just all looks so beautiful. I just can't contain myself when I get into a level. I just get so excited to explore and find all these little secrets. Speaking of little secrets, star coins make their inevitable return in this game as 3 10 purple or poplin coins. I like this change because it makes them feel more useful than a mark on the level that says good for you, you completed it. Jumping into this here blue flower will take us to the main gimmick of this game, the wonder effect. These are absolutely insane and really makes me wonder, no pun intended, what drugs the developers were on when creating these. They can be simple ones like a pipe turning into an inchworm, or Mario fucking stretches himself out, or they can turn you into a Goomba or a slime thing. Completing these wonder effects, or just completing the level in general, will net you one of these wonder seeds, which is necessary for unlocking levels and overall completion. I guess it's comparable to green stars in Super Mario 3D World. I really do love the addition of all these wonder effects. All of them really change up the levels in really fascinating ways. My personal favorite one is the one that gives you the metal cap. The iconic jingle from Mario 64 plays. It is just so cool. The new power-ups on the other hand are also really cool and interesting. Even the returning ones had these new exaggerated animations for when you touch them, or when you just use them normally, and it all just looks incredible. I can't stop gushing about this game. Just look at them fire these fireballs with both of their hands. I just love it so much. You can also now use your power-ups while crouching, which helps completing the whole game while crouching just much easier. I'm not sure why you'd actually want to do that though. Sounds awful if you ask me. The new power-ups in this game are the elephants, bubble flower, and drill mushroom. The elephant is your standard power-up that makes you stronger. You can hit enemies with your trunk, break some big or small blocks depending on your taste, and even store water to spray on dead plants. You become so big that you can barely fit through almost anything, and the game makes it very apparent while trying to go through a door. Princess Peach and Daisy look absolutely horrifying while using this power-up. It's a pretty good power-up all things considered. I mean, each character literally says wowie zowie when they use it. This immediately makes it one of the best power-ups in the entire series. The drill mushroom is really cool as well. It stops enemies from being able to hit you from the top. And you can also burrow into the ground or the ceiling and skip major portions of the levels if you're feeling up to it. Drill Daisy? Don't mind if I do. Next up is the final new power-up in the game, the bubble flower. It's not necessarily the most original power-up in the world, but it's absolutely broken in the greatest way possible because of the simple little fact that you can hop on a bubble and blow another one to gain infinite height.
Quite a night.
The elephant power-up may be the star of the show here, but the bubble flower is by far my favorite. Badges are something new added to the 2D Mario franchise. Hope they have power bounce. Most of them are actually pretty cool and shake up gameplay in a variety of different ways. As mentioned earlier, you're able to buy these badges from the shops, but there are also some that require getting secret exits and completing levels to unlock. There are 3 categories that badges are put into: Action, Boost, and Expert. Action badges are your moveset enhancer types. You can get stuff like a parachute, Luigi's floaty jump, or even a vine that just comes out of your ass. The vine is a pretty broken ability, and I recommend you actually use it, because in conjunction with the bubble power-up, this thing can help break, in a metaphorical sense, even the easiest of levels.
Just a bit. Hurry.
Boost badges basically try to make the game easier to make your life easier if you need something specific. Say you could really go for an elephant right about now. Well, just slap on this badge and boom! You're eating like kings. If you're into that sort of thing. I'd say the only boost badge I found that was actually useful was the sensor. It just detects wonder flowers and purple coins. I pretty much only used this when I finished a world and I needed to backtrack through it to grab everything I missed. I don't believe it detects hidden exits, but I could be wrong. Expert badges are the really fun ones that don't really matter in the grand scheme of things, but that doesn't mean I don't like their inclusion. There are only 4 of these, and 3 of which I will talk about. The last one is for 100% completion, which you'll hear later. Jet Run is an actual useful badge. Yes, you can barely control your character, but it opens you up to a brief window of opportunity where for a split second you can jump mid-air and get some extra distance. Spring Feet kinda blows. Imagine they took the spring power-up in Mario Galaxy and put it in a 2D plane. Not the hugest fan of this, but its inclusion was probably necessary. They can't all be good. Invisibility is just a dumb inclusion. Yeah, enemies can't notice you, but if you don't pay attention, you'll literally lose your location.
Now you see her! Now you don't!
I would never use most of these expert badges of my own volition, but I respect anyone who willingly does. A lot of these badges are gathered through doing specific levels that are basically just tutorials on how to use them. Bosses are the one thing about this game that are overall quite underwhelming. I would even go so far as to call them shit. Unlike the majority of the new Super Mario Bros. Games where you fight the Koopalings, in this game you just fight Bowser Jr. The Junior fights I actually quite like and find them really interesting. They're basically just the old Koopaling fights, except you have this wonder effect that keeps changing each of the arenas, which does shake things up even if it's only a little. Overall, I'd say they're quite fun. But then you have the airship levels, which are some of my favorite levels in this game. Then you get to the end and have to fight a boss. I don't even think I could call it a boss. It's just kind of terrible. You actually just step on a button a single time and boom. The level is over. There's nothing to these airship fights. They spawn little robot enemies, but they don't do anything. You can just jump over them and hit the button. There's nothing to the fight. Well, that's about all I can talk about regarding the boss fights up until the finale with Bowser. I would talk about them more if they actually had more interesting stuff going on with them, but as long as I can beat a boss by stepping on a red button, then there's only so much I can say. Quick spoiler warning for the final fight, if you even care, but I really loved the Bowser fight in this game. It was actually really unique and used different mechanics to deal damage to him. He is the hand boss that every Nintendo game needs to have apparently, but I actually thought it was really well done. If only the rest of the bosses were like this. As I said earlier, the bosses just aren't very good, but there are some outliers, which are only the Bowser and Bowser Jr. fights, which isn't the worst, but it's just kind of bad. It just makes me wish we had original bosses like New Super Mario Bros. DS. You fought a giant Goomba, and even a Monty Mole in a tank. I feel like the mid-bosses were an afterthought when making this game. They forgot they were making a Mario game and it needed bosses, so they threw something together quickly and called it a day. Bosses may be the worst part of this game, but the sheer amount of content the rest of the game has to offer more than makes up for this. Okay, it's been way too long. I desperately need to talk about the game's music now. Instead of the generic music that came with the later New Super Mario Bros. Games, we get entirely brand new music that is just so good. There is not a single track in this game that is bad. The Overworld theme is amazing, same with the Underground or Athletic theme. Everything is just so good. The Underground theme is one of my favorite tracks in this game, though it's not a completely original track. Yeah, while there is new music in this game, some of it is from past Mario games, but given new renditions to make them feel like they're completely original. I honestly didn't even notice that the Underground theme was from Super Mario Sunshine until it was pointed out to me. Same with the airship theme. It's a new rendition of the airship theme created for the original Super Mario Bros. Style in Super Mario Maker. Wow. That's a mouthful. The last thing to talk about is the Special World. If you've played Super Mario World, you'll know that the Special World is accessed through specific points in each world. Super Mario Bros. Wonder works the exact same way. The levels in the Special World are really fun and are an enjoyable challenge. Nothing too easy, but not too difficult either. My favorite level is the one that relies on rhythm to time your jumps. I'm a sucker for rhythm stuff in games, so it's always welcome in my book. In order to finish the Special World, you'll need to collect almost every Wonder Seed in every special level. The final level is a Wonder Seed Marathon type level where they practically throw every Wonder event at you in a single level. I said level 3 times. Oh man. It wasn't very hard, just long. Once you've beaten the main story, collected every Wonder Seed, and purple coin in every level, you'll gain access to the final test. This level was what made me game over for the very first time in my playthrough. Since I forgot what standees were, I literally suffered more than I had to. The level itself is a series of badge tests that were really difficult for me. The worst parts of the level were the spring badge and the invisibility badge. The rest were just difficult enough that I could barely get through it by looking directly into my television screen. By completing the level, you are rewarded with one of the greatest awards in gaming history. It is the greatest badge in the game, and I'll let you witness it right now so you can see it for yourself. It's very unexpected, but absolutely amazing.
Oh, yeah! Goomba looks so sweet. Refreshing.
See? What'd I tell you? I absolutely adore Super Mario Bros. Wonder. This game has single-handedly scratched the terrible itch I had for a 2D Mario game. It was terrible, I tell you. I got a pretty bad rash. At least I think that's a rash. From the beginning to the end of Super Mario Bros. Wonder, it is a wonderful experience filled with tons of personality and amazing levels that anyone, no matter their skill level, can easily get into and have an amazing time playing. I really do wish this game had some better bosses because I'd absolutely love to see this game at its fullest potential. The fact that this game is still amazing, even though the bosses all suck, just tell you how great of an entry into the franchise this game truly is. Don't mind the fact that I actually uploaded another video earlier than I usually do. I'm gonna go relax and get ready for the Persona 3 Reload DLC that comes out soon. Like always, I really hope you were entertained by my video. If you were, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe as it helps me grow and actually puts me in the YouTube algorithm. I'll see you in my next video, which will hopefully be soon, sooner rather than later.